What's going on, paranormal world? We know paranormal artifacts can be worth a lot of money, and they can also generate a lot of money. Not only that, the history attached to some of these items are important to preserve. And like him or not, controversy aside, real or fake, Zak Bagans has put together one of the best haunted museums in the United States and arguably in the world. And some of the haunted artifacts Zak Bagans has bought or been gifted to include the Devil's Rocking Chair, from the Warren's Devil Made Me Do It case, Peggy the Doll, which has been deemed one of the most haunted dolls in the entire world, the historic Dybbuk box, and even Bobby Mackey's Music World building remains. And that's just to name a few. And Zak is usually, if not, the first person people call if they want to sell a haunted item, because Zak has always inquired about haunted items, from teeth to bones to cars, I mean you name it. Which brings me to the Annabelle Doll. I'm sure Zak Bagans would have spent whatever it took to buy the Annabelle Doll. However, if I'm not mistaken, in 2025, Tony Spera was still technically the guardian over the Warren's Museum and this Annabelle Doll, which has now been sold. Now, some of you may know that Zak Bagans and Tony Spera's relationship ended abruptly. It ended on a real bad note with them arguing and taking shots at each other on social media. And we all know that stemmed back from 2017, the Ghost Adventures Halloween special, which Tony Spera brought the Annabelle Doll all the way from Connecticut to Las Vegas. And Tony Spera prompted Zak Bagans with things to do and not to do when you're in the presence of the Annabelle Doll. No touching or grabbing the doll was prohibited no matter the circumstances. And if anyone knows how Zak Bagans operates, if you tell him to go left, he goes right. But in Zak Bagans' defense, if Zak was really possessed during that moment he grabbed the Annabelle Doll, why would Tony Spera get mad at him? Because all he preaches is how dangerous the Annabelle Doll is and how manipulative the Annabelle Doll can be at any given moment to anybody. So why didn't he believe Zak Bagans when he said he was possessed by the Annabelle Doll? I don't understand that. Especially if Tony Spera believes in the Annabelle Doll, right? But anyway, Zak Bagans would have been the obvious choice to buy the Annabelle Doll. However, we don't know the financial details and stipulations it was sold under. And from what I read, it's basically a 5-year lease of this Annabelle Doll. Now, yesterday when I was thinking about this, I was saying to myself, I was like, there's no way that Zak Bagans doesn't know that the Annabelle Doll is being sold. And maybe I was like, maybe he did put in an offer to buy it, but once he seen that, hey, I'm basically renting this doll, he backed out. But come to find out, Zak Bagans didn't even know that the doll was being sold. And this is what he posted on social media. And I quote, "To the thousands of people who have sent me and keep sending me the Annabelle Doll / Warren Occult Museum news, no, I did not have the opportunity to purchase, nor did I hear from Matt Rife about it. Wish them the best with their project." End quote. And honestly, Tony Spera selling this Annabelle Doll, it didn't make sense and it was a surprise to everybody. But I just feel like Zak Bagans was the perfect person for this haunted doll because we know what Zak Bagans collects. I mean, and he preserves it and he does it well in my opinion. But we know that the relationship between Tony Spera and Zak Bagans in 2017, it went sour. So Tony Spera, no matter how much money Zak Bagans were probably going to throw at him, because let's be real, Zak Bagans probably had a blank check. He probably got a blank check right now that's been sitting there for years waiting to buy the Annabelle Doll. And, you know, Tony Spera is probably like, I'm never calling that fool again or doing any kind of business with Zak Bagans again. But yeah, that's what I believe happened in my opinion. And Zak Bagans all but said it. I wasn't, nobody reached out to me about it. And I definitely could have shoved out the money, how much money it cost or whatever. But hey, that's how things are. That's why you got to keep those good relationships and good standing. But, again, I don't think the Annabelle Doll should have been sold, especially if these paranormal investigators believe so much in, the power of the Annabelle Doll. It just doesn't make sense and it's hypocritical in my opinion. But I got another video coming out. I'm not sure when I'm going to post it because I got to do some research on it. But it's going to be about exposing, Tony Spera and what he said in the past and with him selling the Annabelle doll now. It just doesn't add up. So I'm definitely going to do a video breaking that down. Maybe expose wasn't the right word, but I'm going to break down in his own words and use them against him. So there's that. But anyway, how do you all feel about this? Do you all think that Zak Bagans should have had the right to buy the Annabelle doll? Do you think it would have been in the best interest of his haunted museum? Do you think he would have took care of the Annabelle doll? So let me know down in the comment section below. And if you love any and everything paranormal, then make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can see every time I upload. As always, be safe. Peace.